All right, you guys, we are live. I am so sorry for being late. I so I usually stream at 9, and I just got to the office, and usually this is like when I show up to the office anyways, but I totally forgot until like last second. I was like, wait a second, I'm supposed to start streaming an hour early today. Well, thank you for being here. I'm not going to run the intro because I am a few minutes behind. And so let me just jump right into things. How are you? Thanks for being here. Happy Friday. We do have NFP today, which is really exciting because we're going to see what happens with the dollar today. So give me 1 second. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on my story on Instagram just so we can get some more people in here. Awesome. Okay, so so today we have NFP, which is going to be very likely a market moving event here in the US. So what we'll do is we're going to take a look at a bunch of different charts in just a moment here, and that's going to give us a chance to basically get a top-down view of all the different things that are coming today. So again, jobs reports is a big thing every single month. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because when you have jobs numbers come out, it is a big signal whether or not, investors should be considering the buying or selling of the US dollar based on the economic health in the US, right? So sorry, I'm just finishing up sending this link here. And we are all set. Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure everybody is linked and in here. So yes, we are going to be doing some charting. We're going to be looking at stuff before the NFP release. Real quick, let me talk about what I like to personally do in these streams. So of course, I don't know with any certainty whether the dollar is going up or whether the dollar is going down in response to this NFP. But with this NFP in particular is incredibly interesting because of the fact that look where we sit, you guys. Let's look at the daily chart really quick and check this out. Daily chart, we are sitting just at the the high of the year. Okay. And the reason that makes such a big difference in today's particular release on jobs is that, okay, if you have huge jobs numbers that are better than expected, we could see the dollar launch into a new high of the year, right? So it's very possible that this high of year could get taken out today in response to the news. That, of course, would be if the US dollar news was positive. Now, real quick, before we look at the chart too much, let's go look and see what exactly we have coming. For those of you guys who are like, whoa, Nick, what are we looking at? What's going on today? Why is this such a big deal? Well, today at 8:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern, which is in about 18 minutes from now, we have the U.S. unemployment rate numbers. Now, why this matters? Well, if the unemployment rate in the U.S. is higher than expected and things are not going as well as expected, that could cause a drop in the dollar, right? So basically, if we saw numbers in unemployment higher or number of jobs created, right? Let's look for employment change. If this was lower, right? So if this was lower or this was significantly higher, I know it's a terrible arrow, that would be considered negative or bad for the USD. So you could pull this thing up and you could go look at the numbers yourself and see what they are. But what's likely going to happen is at the point that these numbers release onto the market, you're going to see the dollar shoot up or shoot down. And there is no way for me to tell you exactly which way it's going to go beforehand. So please don't ask me. I get that comment every time. People say like, Nick, where's the dollar going? Is it going up or going down on NFP? I don't know, but I will say either ways, we have an interesting scenario because if this thing comes flying higher in response to good jobs numbers, then the dollar could be set to set a new yearly high. So right here, we have been stumbling to get past this 94.5. But what's so interesting is right before the news, it seems like optimism is in favor of the bulls here. There's a lot of bulls out here saying, hey, we think this thing is going higher. You know how I know that? Well, because the dollar is pushing higher into the news. Before the news has actually even hit the floor, we see a ton of buying going on. And that's a big deal. That's a lot of buying pressure that's saying, hey, we think that the dollar is going higher. So how can we prepare for this? Well, there's a couple things that we can do. Okay. So for me, I am dollar bullish. If you've been watching my streams for a while, you know I am net dollar bullish. I have positions open against or in favor of the dollar against some other currencies. And my main idea here would just be status quo, continue buying going into the dollar. Now, please don't go take trades just because I say something. Please make your own decisions. Be smart. Don't gamble and don't be dumb with your trading. But for me, something like this, if we were to get good jobs numbers, something that really could push us above that high of year, I would have no problem looking for stuff like this, right? And looking for continuation patterns on the US dollar. Now, I wouldn't be trading the DXY though. So let's go look at some individual currency pairs and see maybe there's something we could look at closely. Now, here's the Euro USD. I have been bearish on the Euro USD. I've taken some sells recently and made some money there, which has been awesome. Now the question is, similar to the DXY, can the dollar here get strong enough to push us underneath the lows of the year? Again, the euro is sitting just around the low of the year, which is just about 1.153. Okay, that's about the area that we have not been able to get under. If this news comes out really strong for the dollar, we could see that level break to the downside. We could see stuff like this, right? A breakout lower and a continuation opportunity could present itself. And in my opinion, as a swing trader, that very well could be of interest. Now, of course, if we go down and look at the 1 hour chart, you've got momentum here to the downside before the news even occurs. So, of course, the dollar could reverse. We could also see this level of support just absolutely hold. And that's why I'm not going to try and make a prediction as to what I think the news is going to be. I'm going to react to what the news actually is. So my view here is, okay, the euro, very, very weak. You can see price came down really hard and all the way up here retraced and then found resistance enough to get us back down to sit there on the lows before the actual news. The big thing here for me is, like I said, if we're going to see a breakout, then great. I'd be actually looking to short and go with the trend. Now, not right away, but probably something like this. Absolutely could see myself looking for short setups on the euro at this level, at the previous, basically the low of year, but on a retest, right? Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys are liking the stream, do me a favor, hit that like button. We've got 585 people in here, and we are going to see the NFP news spike together. We're going to watch it. So stay with me here for another 13 minutes or so, and we will have the spike in front of us, and we'll be able to set up. And also, stay tuned right after the news. We're going to have a special guest. My friend Ivan is going to come on, and he's going to be doing some analysis and breakdowns with us post release. So if you'd like to look for swing trade setups afterwards, after the news spike, then stay around with us because Ivan is going to be coming on and it's going to be a great, great time. So yeah, so definitely check that out. Once he comes on, that should be a lot of fun. Next up, let's take a look at the pound dollar. We will take a look at gold. So those of you guys who are asking for gold analysis, don't worry, we'll get there. Look at the pound, you guys, still dropping. We had that incredible drop to the downside there. And in this single, stretch right there, that little trend, 225 pips. And this is a 1 hour chart. So that's a pretty impressive move there on the pound. Let's get a bigger picture view of the pound dollar and see what's going on here right now. So you've got the pound dollar hovering around, similar to the Euro USD, that yearly low. This is just about the yearly low. And this is the dollar strength that we've been talking about here on the streams. Again and again, I've pointed out that I think that the dollar is going higher. I'm not always right, so please don't, misquote me. I'm not always correct about my ideas, but the dollar this year has been my friend. It's been doing what we thought it would do. It's been going higher and higher and higher. And so I have still bias to the upside when it comes to the dollar. So when I look at something like pound dollar, I am hesitant to be like, hey, you know what? This is the low. Let me buy it, right? It very well could bounce. And again, we're going to have to wait to see what the news release actually is. Stay tuned for that. We'll analyze that once it happens. But the idea here is this. We are sitting at a yearly low, and a breakout there could be monumental. So again, let me also point something out about NFP. Sometimes you get a candle that looks like, has anybody ever seen a candle from NFP that basically just looks like this? It's like a big move up, a big move down, and then it stays where it is. It just spiked and stopped everyone out. Well, that happens in NFP, and that's why I personally don't like to trade the actual release. I am a swing trader by nature. So what that means is, I'm looking for trades that can last a day, 2 days, 3 days, etc. So when I'm looking at NFP, I'm saying, okay, well, if price, spikes up and spikes down, then that's not really a strong, decisive move. My favorite things to happen in NFP are when you get a decisive one-way move, right? Because if this thing were to, for example, reverse strong, right, then we may at least expect, okay, well, maybe the dollar is going to be, at least in the short term, seeing a little bit of a retracement, and maybe the pound dollar, the euro dollar, things like that can get off their lows, right? That's the question. They're all wondering, can this news come out and get us off of these lows, or is there going to be a new low, right? Because if you get those very, very strong dollar numbers, which seems like the market is expecting that, we could see a break to the downside there and continuation. So we'll keep going. We're going to take a look at gold now. I know everyone wants to see gold, so we will get there. Check it out. So gold did something interesting. We had this downward structure, bam, 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 right? 3 to the downside, but then we had this break, and this is interesting. So, the gold market has been holding its own. We have to give it credit. We've been seeing this thing make its way up, but then you sort of had this channel to the downside, and this breakout here is really interesting because the dollar got strong at the same time that gold got strong, which is very unique. It doesn't happen very often, but what we'll see here is that we are sitting at a couple different levels of resistance. So if you're an intraday trader and you're watching the NFP release and you're saying, okay, well, gold is sitting at resistance and maybe you want to buy it, right? Maybe you're a buyer. Let's just say you are a buyer of gold. You are looking for an opportunity to do so, right? Maybe you get that big green pull and you get something like this, right? If the dollar comes out as weak, there very well may be some great opportunities to pick up some gold. Now, of course, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your trading account. Please get that straight. I'm not here to give you signals and make you a millionaire. That's not how trading really works. In the reality, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, all that good stuff that, you don't want to hear. Nobody wants to hear. But that's the reality. So we're taking a look at gold. I'm trying to switch my thing. Unfortunately, I started an hour before the rest of my employees got to the office to do stuff. So I'm manually changing this myself, but it's not anybody's fault. I'm just going to have to do it myself. That's fine. So, we got 700 people in here, you guys. Do me a big favor, hit that like button. Let's run the like button up. We've got 9 minutes until the release. If you guys spam that like button, it would be much appreciated and would probably bring a lot of people into the stream to watch the spike with us. We'll watch it. So stay with us until the spike, because once the spike happens, my friend Ivan is going to come in and we're going to both talk about the after effects and what we could actually expect for the dollar based on the news numbers that we get. So stay with us. We're going to be having some fun here in just a little bit watching the spike, and already liked. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for the likes, you guys. You're awesome. So the big thing here is if the dollar comes out very strong, right, that could actually cause gold to have a little bit of a dip. But if the dollar comes out weak, gold very well could be making a breakout to the upside. There may be some opportunities to do one of these guys, right? They'll break, retest action, and maybe march back up to that 1810 mark. What's so special about 1810? Well, it's been sort of a natural barrier here for the price action in the last few weeks. You can see price made its way up here at the 22nd of October. That was kind of the high. And then since then, we've just had this little, decrease in price and the sell-off. Now the question is, can we get enough momentum to sort of break out of this? Now, of course, I have one position open going on into the news. So let me make sure to sort of take a look at this before things get going. This is a trade that I shared inside of our Discord. I'm currently sitting in it, and I do plan on holding it into the NFP spike. So you guys will probably see this as it comes into play. Let me switch my chart. I hate that I have to do this. I'm so slow at it. AUD USD. There we go. So check it out. This is a trade that I took inside of our private Discord channel. So you can see what the analysis was fairly straightforward. Price was breaking out of this trend line. Price, I drew a fib from here to here, right? And then that 38.2% retracement was my sell zone. I took the trade. I've been holding on to it, and I'm currently floating $286. And you guys might be able to see the rarest situation on camera where I get stopped out. Or you'll see a situation where I continue to hold on to a winner. But either ways, I probably will be holding this on camera into the stream so you guys can watch. Stay with me. If you want to watch me get maybe stopped out or maybe turn into a bigger trade, you guys stay with me here. It should be a fun time. So we will have to see. But again, floating $285 on this trade, nothing crazy. It's just I've been taking some small positions and several trades at a time. So I've got this kind of just going on the back burner. So we'll see. But my thought is this, with the NFP news, it's going to depend heavily on what the USD does, right? Because I'm trading here, in this case, AUD USD. So if I'm looking at the USD news and I'm saying, okay, well, if the USD comes out as really weak, right? If there's bad numbers, bad job numbers, and that could cause my position to go against me. That's why I have my stop loss locked. I'm not going to make a lot of money if that happens. And I am keeping my stop loss a bit of a ways away going into the news, right? Because again, this could spike all over the place. And I don't want to just get stopped out just to see it, do some craziness. So my stop loss currently is about, let's see, it's about 50, 60 pips away from where we currently sit. So the worst case scenario is you guys see me take like a $80 profit, which would be, it would be what it is. Sometimes that happens. And again, I like to reiterate on my streams and on my content that I don't know the future, right? I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not the perfect trader. I'm not the best trader ever, right? I'm just a person that trades. And I think that, you bring yourself down to that level and you say, hey, you know what? I don't have to be a genius or a guru or whatever to make money trading. All I have to do is be patient, keep my positions small, risk small, and play the conservative trading game and give it the time it needs to really grow and compound accounts. That's what really matters in trading, in my opinion. So when I look at a position like this, I say, okay, hey, maybe this thing, because I'm trailing stops, right? Maybe this thing keeps running down and I have a bias to the downside. I've been shorting this thing and I'm happy with holding on to my position, but I'm also happy if price decides to do some craziness and go back the other direction, I'll just take a profit and close out, right? That's an okay position by me. I agree to those terms, right? And anytime you take a trade, you should ask yourself, do you agree to the terms and to the possible outcomes that could present themselves? That is the question. Guys, I want to ask you something. Well, maybe not ask you something. I want to offer you something. We've got a bunch of free stuff inside of our Discord. We just made some changes. If you have Discord or you would like to join our Discord, what I'm going to do real quick before that, we've got a couple minutes here. Join inside of our Discord. And what you're going to get is there's a bunch of free stuff in our Discord. So I just dropped the link. Do me a favor. Join that link. And let me see if I can pin that comment. If you join that link, what that link has got is it's got all sorts of good stuff. You can join that link. We've got some free downloads. We've got some daily analysis that's sent out by one of our analysts here at A1 Trading. So if you are looking for coverage, if you're looking for help in your trading or whatever, there's some free stuff that you can join and get in the Discord. So I just pinned the link to the Discord in the chat on my channel here. So you can click that link on YouTube here. It'll take you to Discord and you can join in there. Join that because later on today, we're going to be having more analysis. We're going to be doing some giveaways in there and things like that. So make sure to join that and check it out. Now, of course, if you are not already a VIP member and you would like to be, that is where I share all of my actual trades. So this trade that I'm in on AUD USD is something that I shared inside of our private Discord. Now, as a free member, you won't get access to this. Like you won't see the trades that I'm taking, but you will get access to some free stuff, some downloads, stuff like that, and some analysis. But if you're looking to see my trades and you're looking to see Patrick and Ryan's trades and join our coaching calls and ask your questions and learn from more experienced traders, if that sounds helpful to you, this is a service that we offer and that we spend a tremendous amount of time. We have about 8 or so people who run this community. If you have an interest in joining our community, there's a link down below in the description here of the live stream, and we're doing a Black Friday sale. So I have to make this aware to the people while you're here. There's a Black Friday sale going on. You get 40% off of the VIP membership. If you'd like to try it out and join us, there's a link down below in the description. Use that code, punch in the code there that you see, and you should get access for that one-time fee that's 40% off this month only. So there is your pitch. Of course, we've got 2 minutes here until the news, and then we've got Ivan coming after. So don't leave right at the spike, because after the spike, we've got some brilliance coming onto the stream. My friend Ivan will be here, and he is a multiple year trading veteran. I think he's been trading for 4 or 5 years, and so between him and I, maybe you'll get something good out of us. But yeah, that should be right after the release. We've got 1 minute until the release, you guys. Let's do something fun. Let's pull up USD CAD. You know what? I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to try and race against the clock here. Let me see if I can get 4 charts pulled up at the same time. We're going to switch over to the 15-minute chart. There's USD CAD. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to beat the clock. We'll do XAU USD. We'll do Euro USD and Pound USD. 15 minute. I've got 30 seconds. Let's see if I can do it. I just want to watch all the spikes happen at the same time. It's kind of fun. There we go. So there's USD CAD. We'll be able to watch pound dollar. So we're going to watch the spikes all together, you guys. We're going to be able to see what happens on all of these charts at the very same time, which should be fun. Euro USD, we'll keep that one tabbed up here on the bottom right, and then gold is in the top right. We've got the release happening right now. Let's see what the spike brings us, you guys. All right, here we go. So XAU USD is coming down. I guess I should have pulled up my, I'm going to pull up my XAU, or sorry, my AUD USD position. And we'll try and get a picture as to what is going on here. Again, like I said, you guys might see me get stopped out here on this AUD trade or take a profit. We'll have to see. But gold coming down a little bit here. USD CAD rising, so a little bit of USD bullishness so far. And in a second, we'll try and take a look at the news numbers and see. News was positive, says Legacy FX. I'm short on AUD USD or AUNZD. 10 seconds left. Late entry. Hello. Hi, Franco. Thanks for being here. The spikes will break out the screens. It very well could. USD is starting out strong. We may have gotten a little bit of an underwhelming one, but we'll have to watch. Look at that AUD position, you guys. I'm glad I held it. I mean, I didn't have hindsight in my favor, but, you know, I like to trail stop, so I'm not going to just close out a trade just because it's in profit, but it does seem like AUD USD is starting out well. We'll see, but NFP can, you know, it can change directions real quick. So about a 13 pip drop on AUD USD. USD CAD is up about 14 pips. Pound dollar here trading down 23 pips. That's a pretty good move. Gold, look at this. So gold making a move of 550 pips already. Gold is insane. And okay, we've got ourselves a little bit of a move, you guys. Let's go look at what can we see the numbers? Let's see what the numbers are bringing us here today. Let me back out of this. We'll check out the numbers, and then in just a second, you guys, we're going to have Ivan join us here on the stream. So he may offer some insight as well. So stay with me there. News numbers. Come on. I believe you can do it. We'll see. Hey, Nick, I'll be in the office soon. Oh, hey, awesome. Cool. That's Chandler. He's our famous editor. Look at that, you guys. Wow. Okay. USD winning on both fronts. USD jobs higher than expected, and unemployment is at 4.6% as opposed to a forecasted 4.7%. Both of these numbers are in the green today. That's a big deal, you guys. That's a good day for the US dollar, as if we haven't already been having enough recently. That's excellent news. So again, looking pretty good here. The spike here to the upside there for the dollar today, that is looking pretty awesome. Let's take a look at DXY just to show you. Here's the dollar index crossing over the highs, you guys. That is a high of year. We are watching it unfold in front of our eyes. Congrats to the fellow dollar bulls. We have yet another good day so far. We'll see. You know, NFP, it's early. It could reverse by the end of the day. But the point is, we have at least attempted at a higher high here on the daily chart. That's a big deal, and honestly, could be, you know, a point for a lot of profit taking for some of the bulls that have been riding this dollar move here. So congrats to dollar bulls. That is really, really exciting. And things are looking really strong here for the dollar. NFP, I would say it wasn't a really volatile NFP, but it was still a pretty good move. And we did see, you know, strong jobs numbers from the US. So again, we will have to see if what comes next, because again, NFP numbers, they can come out and they can be really strong, and then by the end of the day they can reverse. Or in this case, maybe they follow through. Maybe you see that continuation. You can see my AUD USD position pulling back a little bit. Same with that pound dollar, and the DXY taking a little bit of a retracement. But this happens, right? During the actual spikes, you get moves up, you get moves down, you get spins in circles, and sometimes the chart even goes backwards. You get some craziness that you know, happens all over the place. So what we're going to do here is, in just a moment, I've got my friend Ivan. He's going to be joining us backstage and jumping into the call here. But what we're going to do is we're going to hear from him, and we're going to watch a little bit of the aftermath here with the US dollar numbers, and then we're going to make a decision. Look at this. So we're actually seeing a little bit of a reversal. AUD, USD now moving up, pound dollar moving up. And like I said, it can always change. Things can change real quick when it comes to NFP day. So with that said, let me bring in my friend Ivan, and maybe we'll get some takes from him. How's it going, Ivan? Thanks for joining me on the stream, man.
Thank you for having me here. No,
No
this is
problem.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an impressive dollar day. What do you think? What's your
What
first reaction?
well, my first reaction is just where I wanted it at 500,000 with some change. That's pretty what I wanted. The next thing I also wanted is not a too low, because then we won't taper. Then that will jeopardize that in January. So far everything is in line. Everything is great. Everything is not super hot, but not too bad. So I think this was a great number.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean that's we had both things sort of just the clear winning call, right? You had unemployment rate go down, and the actual jobs numbers were very impressive. So that's very dollar bullish. And Ivan, are we on the same page with the dollar for once? That's a new thing. We're usually in disagreement. We usually bring Ivan on, and then Ivan tells me how the last 30 minutes I've just been spewing nonsense. I'm kidding. But to those of you guys who don't know Ivan already, Ivan, he does some of our coaching calls inside of our Discord. And also Ivan has his own YouTube channel where he offers all sorts of cool takes on things. But today we figured we'd bring him on, have some conversations about this dollar move. Ivan, do you have any charts you want to share with us? Maybe we could take a look at your view. People might get sick of my boring looking charts after a while. And I'd love to see what you've got.
Well, I haven't looked at your chart, so maybe it's mystery. But a very important thing for my strategy is pivot points, and we have hit target on most of the dollar pairs. So
Yes.
right now, I'm seeing a lot of risk to go up before falling on Monday. So you saw that there was some pullbacks a couple seconds ago.
Yes.
That is actually entry levels for next week. So if you're thinking dollar bullishness for next week, this is actually a volatility event to get good entries.
Yes.
But yeah, as we in Ivan FX said, well, gold should fall. Well, it fell.
Look at that move. That's such a crazy move there.
Yeah, and I warn you guys, this can go 100 down and 100% back up again, which it just did. So if that is a market you want to be in, great, fantastic, have fun with that. But I did not sell gold today. Just to make sure that is straightforward.
Yeah, look at that move. It's just crazy how, it can just on a dime turn around. And I think that, like you said, though, kind of some of the craziness can actually be used as a great opportunity to look for entries, right? So even though, the numbers are great, sometimes you still get that profit taking, and that massive just volume exchange that causes up and down movements can still be a great opportunity to look for proper swing trade setups and things like that.
I've experienced many Fridays on NFP, and I'm a bit shaky, but I don't know if I want to do that. But I've seen Fridays where that's the high of the next week.
Right.
And I've just said to myself after that happened, I think it was in January or something, I need to be ready then. Because if that's the best price, of course your dollar is very low right now. But if we were going up to 1560 or 1580, I need to be ready. That could be the high.
Yes, but, agreed. I have a question for you too, Ivan. What do you make of all this gold bullishness despite dollar strength? I had a whole conversation yesterday on my stream, and I was like, I had an educated guess, but I'd love to hear like what you think. Why is the gold market flying high, but the dollar is also flying high?
I can't really come up with any good reasons.
Yeah.
At the moment, it should fall because the inflation trade, or the lack of inflation, is not there anymore. So that should send the gold down by itself.
Right.
But we haven't really had any bull run this year. Like, we haven't had the February move. We are expecting gold to go up in December and January, but it hasn't really been a bullish move. So maybe now, but and also, as well as a trader, if you see the whipsaw here from gold, this is around FOMC, falls down 100% back up again.
Right.
And if there's a word starting with M that comes into my mouth, yes, that is pure.
Gotcha.
It's as best as it can.
So,
Um,
so just tell me what you think about this. So this is like my best take
yeah.
on it. It's still not great, but it's the best I could come up with for possible explanation for why gold is strong. You had yesterday USD, CHF, JPY all moving up. That was that push into risk off assets. And gold kind of is like that cousin that fits in there too, right? It's that risk off. So I still don't have a reason for why gold was outpacing the US dollar, but I do have, maybe gold just overall was catching a little bit of a bid in response to, like, for example, Bank of England. They came out and they said, hey, you know what? Unemployment's probably going to spike, global growth a little bit slow. And maybe that was a response to, or a reason for gold pushing higher. That was my best take that I could come up with after like an hour and a half of research.
Sorry for laughing in between here, but the thing is, Bank of England yesterday is the what I don't know. It's the best cat and mouse game I've ever seen this year. This is Tom and Jerry. They set up
Yes.
us for rate hikes. They're like, we're gonna rate hikes. Market has priced in a 1% rate hike by next year, and they say, nope.
Yep.
We are like,
Right.
nope. So I think maybe buyers like, well, gold is better than pound at the moment, because we
Yeah.
saw the drop in pound. Pound dropped also today, and so maybe that's where they're leaving. The other one is Harold. I know you're in the chat. He sent me a news article about Russia not wanting to supply nat gas to Europe, and apparently some troops are along the border to Ukraine. And I'm like, is that really going to happen now? Are we going to go into political risk now? Is that
True.
why gold is going
True.
higher?
And that, usually they do say it's like the same thing with like elections and stuff, that you always should go to the betting markets because they factor in the most details before things happen. Right. So
Yeah.
in the same way, financial markets could be seeing something that before the populace does. It's just, it's the most competitive place on earth for information. So, you could be onto something. And it really is, it's so interesting that the market can sort of factor things in. The pandemic, before it really everything to shut down, there was already market sell-offs going on, right? You had the clues were coming beforehand. So
Well, that was just a confirmation, but we saw with COVID, it was in December. That's when it started.
right.
So by January, when we were supposed to peak for euro dollar and start falling, there's already rumors. There's already something there. Like, what is this? And we can't really contain it. And every day with COVID, it just started to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until we're like, this is a full scale problem.
Right. Right.
But I just saw someone in the comments saying why Aussie is fall rising. Well, profit taking was on Tuesday, so you need to get a better sell entry. So
Fair enough. Do you want to take a look
if
at
it goes higher?
Do you want to take a look at AUD USD for me on the chart? Obviously, I don't know if you saw, I have a trade open on it, so I could use some consulting.
Because this is
Tell me what
a
to do, Ivan.
consultation.
I'm
I take $1,000 per hour. Now I think that what we missed today was a real proper sell entry around in this area here. So I'm really just hoping that we can get up there. So we just went back to basically previous resistance. So as I would say, Hakuna Matata, like, this is great. This is great news that it goes higher. This is like, yes, it's a better price than 73.60, 73.90. Okay, a small scalp up there.
Yep. Wow, I'm actually so surprised today, Ivan. We are like really looking at charts the same way today. This is a new thing. No, but I think it's kind of hard to dispute all that dollar positive news. I mean, that was a really good, solid report. That's exactly what dollar bulls wanted to see, and I think that does bring us justifiably to that new high of the year, which is a big deal. I mean, to go high of year. I said I had to pat myself on the back about this, because I said like 2 weeks ago, I was like, I think the dollar makes a new high of year. And at that point, the market had come down, and I didn't know it was going to happen next week, but I'll pretend I knew so that I sound cool. But the dollar strength here is just really cool today. And I like AUD USD short a lot. I currently have that trade open. Which, by the way, for you guys who were watching with me, it's still floating in profit. Didn't get stopped out, thankfully, and hopefully we can just see that thing continue to roll over. I do plan on holding it over the weekend. But Ivan, do you have any open trades right now? Do you usually close things before NFP, or?
I don't have anything for today because I didn't. I didn't get my entries on Aussie, Euro, and Pound. And everything just tanked before me. So that's why I'm like hoping, can there be a pullback here? Can there be a pullback here?
Right.
This is a trade that Nick is talking about here. But hope that was okay to show it. But yeah, for me, it's like, okay, cool. I don't have any more. I don't have any for today, so I'm just patient. This is a day that is patient day.
Sure.
And if Monday brings up something, also we're just 5th of November. We still have a whole lot of month left, and if we can get down, which my future plan is, I hope you agree with me, that the low on dollar pairs should be around beginning or end of November. So I see a trend now for the next 3 weeks at least.
Got it. Okay. Oh, and you mean to the upside or to the?
No, like your dollar falling, also your dollar falling until
Gotcha.
the end of November.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how familiar I've explained my strategy with you, but just generally speaking, I'm just going to be trying to hold on to this trade from here. It's like, just like, okay, I've got the entry, I've got the stop loss locked in, and now it's just a walk the stop loss. It's like walking the dog and trying to stay on the leash, basically.
That's right.
But we'll see if that can play out. But if there was one chart that you were looking at for, maybe going into next week, you mentioned that maybe there's some opportunities setting up for next week. What would that kind of look like? Which ones are your favorites?
Oh, I think Aussie is
You
one
like
of my
Aussie?
favorites. I also think Aussie. Well, yen is not really that strong. It's just Aussie itself falling. But
Yeah.
Aussie dollar, pound just fell off the sky as always. But no, Aussie. I would just go back to Aussie and say, what if there's any pullbacks here? I want to take them. And these people, okay, look at this chart, Aussie dollar. This is a market you want to trade to the downside. If it goes up again, whatever. Gold doesn't look like this. This is potentially, maybe, at least, this is where I love to trade. This is where I'm excited.
I would agree. Especially with that gold concept of, gold is moving higher with the dollar. It's like very confusing right now. And so for me with gold, I would be the scenario that would actually make me interested in like trading gold would be if dollar had something really dovish all of a sudden that came out of nowhere and changed directions. Then I would start looking at the gold market from a bullish perspective. But for right now, I'm with you. I think that there are just easier trades to trade the dollar with against other currencies that are weak rather than trying to trade gold so specifically. And that's kind of the name of the game. It's just looking for paths of least resistance. How's that? Oh, NASDAQ is responding like always, finding a way to go higher.
Yeah, but that's mostly because the Jerome Powell. I didn't see any NFP, and I didn't see any FOMC video from you this year. But I mean, at least what this Jerome Powell said was, well, we are supposed to reach full employment by mid 2022. Market goes higher.
Yep.
And employment is a really good driver of the market. And because the market was like, I don't know. It was kind of like a half of this candle by that time. It was a bit unsure and then just skyrocketed. So
just shot through. Yeah.
That is kind of what I want to talk about as well, is you need to be ready at the beginning of the month, beginning of the trend. And right now you're too late. Right now it's quote unquote dangerous, but this is a market that's supposed to rise until for the next 20 years. But what was it that if you hold a trade on the stock market index for 10 years, you're most likely going to make money.
Sure.
But if you hold it for a year or 2 or 3 years, there is a much larger potential to make that go in loss. That is statistics on the index, at least.
Right. True. And I mean, technically kind of the same for gold if you're very slow and very patient with it. But gold is a similar way. Sometimes I mention that, just because that built in as a swing trader for me, like as a, looking at longer term a little bit in all my analysis, gold is hard for me to short in general because of its sort of deflationary over time it goes up nature. Same thing with the NASDAQ. Those are things that I stay away from shorting just for that reason alone. Even if there was something that was a catalyst to the downside, I'm very hesitant to short things like gold and the stock market. So,
but like the other thing is, are you able to create a strategy or a method in what you're doing. If it's day trading, swing trading, whatever you do, that is kind of what you need to create as a trader. But you also then need to identify in the market which market does fit my
Yes.
my strategy the best.
Right.
And I know people make money on gold, but I don't know many of them. But the reason why many of them, no, the few of them do, is because they don't care about short-term volatility like today. Today is like, okay, it's a non-event.
Right. Right.
Because it's just going to hold it for 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 years.
Sure.
Depending.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, because the thing is, in the short term, it can go all over the place. But those things, gold and the Nasdaq and things like that, they tend towards the upside over time. So the time is in your favor, whereas if you're shorting, time is not in your favor, right? It's going against you. So dips are opportunities for long-term buyers, and you have to kind of think about that if you're going to be sort of looking for shorts. I mean, it's not that you can't make money. You just have to have, like you said, a strategy that you can get in, you can take advantage of the moves that are posed to happen, and you can get out before it gets ugly.
But yeah, I just saw a comment there. Is it the Department of Labor that is posting this this number, and it's just an average out of a focus group. It's not entirely the whole economy, and that's why you can sometimes see those revisions to previously published numbers. But yeah,
Right.
so it comes from is the government.
Gotcha.
Come from the bureaucracy.
Yep. Well, in the end today, you guys, we had a really, really strong numbers from the dollar, and I think that Ivan and I are on the same page. We're both kind of looking for those dollar long setups. We like AUD USD. I like Euro USD as well. If we get a little bit more of a clear through the lows, maybe a retest, maybe next week, I could look for opportunities there. That's another one I'm looking at. I do like pound dollar as well. But pound dollar is a drama queen. They keep changing their story on whether or not things are good or things are awful. They change back and forth every week. But before we go, I do want to say a big thank you to Ivan for coming on. And I want you guys to go check out his channel. You can see his name right there. It is Ivan FX on YouTube. Go drop him a subscribe on YouTube if you like hearing his side of things. He's always got something interesting to say, even if we don't always agree. It is nice to have him on every once in a while. And like I said, he's in our coaching call groups inside of the Discord, so you can also see him in there if you're already a member with us. You can hang out with Ivan in the future and hear his insights throughout the week. So Ivan, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will see you back later. All right, so before we go, I do want to say this. If you enjoyed today's stream, hit that like button down below. Let us know that you enjoyed this content. This is stuff that we work hard to put out and make sure that we give coverage on, things like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We have editors, we have researchers that help us to bring out this content. It's not just a one-man show or anything like that. It really is a team effort, and we appreciate you guys for supporting the content here. If you did like it, again, it's a free stream. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and come back and see us again in the future. And before you go, if you're not already in our Discord and you'd like to see more from Ivan and myself, if you'd like to trade closer to us, join the Discord. The link is down below in the description. You can sign up there to see all the trades that are being taken by myself, by Patrick, by Ryan. You can join his coaching calls. Ivan, my friend who was just on here, he does a great job with members there answering questions throughout the week. So if any of that sounds helpful to you, there's a link down below in the description. Take advantage of our Black Friday sale, 40% off for this month. So take advantage while you can and come jump in on the action. Trade with us. And guys, thank you very much for being here today. I hope you got something out of the stream, and we will see you back in the next one. I got to put my outro here. Well, look at you. You made it to the end of another stream. Thank you for being here. It really does mean the world to us. We love doing this every single day, and you being here really makes that all possible through YouTube advertising, things like that. Helps to pay myself, the staff, everyone here that you see involved. With that said, we've got more free trading help. As you guys know, as a big thank you to you, we are constantly putting out free content, and we've got something real special for you. Down below in the description, there is a link to access our questionnaire. If you have any questions about things like risk management, price action, technical analysis, you can actually ask your question or get some help on those topics just by going down below in the description. There's a link, click it there, and you should get some help fairly quickly. So with that said, check it out down below, and we'll see you back in the next stream.